Hi students, this is Mrs. Marinelli for Business 270, and this video is going to be on creating a personal business letter, and this starts on PBL 2 in your nuts and bolts. So I have opened a blank Word document. So the first thing I want to do is change the spacing to no spacing. By clicking that, it automatically changes to single space and gets rid of the extra space that is in by default. And then I'm going to change my text. I would change it to 12, but because I'm videotaping, I'm afraid it'll be too small for you to see very well. So I'm going to try 20 and see how that works. So by default in Word, the margins are 1 inch all the way around, and we need a 2-inch top margin for most letters, and we'll leave the side and the bottom margin the same. You would hit the enter key 4 times. If I hit the enter key 4 times because I have such a large font, it will be too many. So I'm going to hit it twice. And you can see that that puts my cursor, my pointer, at the 1 inch mark. So this gray area is a 1 inch margin from the edge of the paper. By setting it to this 1 inch, that means 1 inch from the margin. So 1 inch plus 1 inch gives us a 2-inch top margin. So we've changed the line spacing, we changed the font size. I'm going to leave, no, I'll change the font to Calibri. No, I mean Arial. Times New Roman. Either of those would work for a regular letter. We're creating a block style letter. If you look on PBL 3 in nuts and bolts, you will see that all parts of the letter start at the left margin. That's a blocked letter style. There are different styles. That's the most commonly used one now and the easiest also to use. We're also going to use open punctuation. That means after the salutation on PBL 3, Dear Mr. Miller, there is no punctuation mark. And after the complimentary close, the sincerely at the bottom, there is no punctuation mark. If you want to use punctuation, it's called mixed. And you would have a colon after Dear Mr. Miller and a comma after sincerely. So with a personal business letter, this would be not from a business. Say I, on my own, have nothing to do with COS, am typing a letter to a business, maybe my bank, maybe my insurance company. So it's personal because it's not a reflection of my business. It's just me personally. So the first thing we would start out with is the inside address. So again, if you're looking on PBL 3, you can see there's an address at the top. That's the address of the person whom it's from. So I'm just going to make up an address, enter once, and then it's Visalia, whatever the town is, comma. Every state has a 2-state abbreviation that's capitalized, and then your zip code. And there's always just 1 space between parts. And then the current date, do not abbreviate it. And that's it for the return address. Then you would quadruple space, which means hit the enter key 4 times, and then you type, did I tell you this is the return address? It's called a return address. Then you type the inside address. This is the inside address of whom you're sending the letter to. So they have Mr. David Miller, and you might have a title, and if the title's too long and sticks out, Ooh, that was loud. You may put it on the next line. And then the address. Again, 2 state abbreviation. Now you might have the company name. Or you may not, just depends on whom you're writing to. So that's the inside address, that's the person receiving the letter. Enter twice to leave 1 blank line, and then you have the salutation. Dear Mr. Miller. Enter twice, and then you have the body of the letter. Single spaced. Let it wrap. And you will double space between paragraphs. So I'm ready for a new paragraph, double space. Okay, so a red squiggle means that it's a word that's not in the program's dictionary. It could be typed right. Your last name, if you have a last name that's not in the dictionary, will come up in a red squiggle, and you can actually add it to the dictionary. So I am going to right click, and I want this choice. Or if it were correct, I could say ignore it. I could add it to the dictionary. I could add it to autocorrect. We talked about that in another video. If I ignore it for now, the next document or the next time I open Word, it's going to see it as incorrect. If you add it to the dictionary, it'll be there for all documents. So second paragraph, same thing, single space, let it wrap so it returns on its own, double space between paragraphs. So let's say that's my last paragraph. I could have 3, 4, however many paragraphs, double space, and then you have the complimentary close, sincerely. If it's sincerely yours, you only capitalize the S on sincerely, not the yours. Very truly yours, only the V on very. Enter 4 times, and then who it's from. And the reason you enter 4 times, before I mail this, I would type my name, and I generally will use a blue ink pen so it looks like it's not a copy, a photocopy. So again, 2-inch top margin, return address and date line, quadruple space, inside address. You may not have all of these lines. You might have president on the same line. You might not have a company name. Salutation, body, complimentary close, typed signature. So this is block style with open punctuation. So if I turn on my show hide, and again, let me change this to 12. So, it didn't stay on 12. Okay, so I entered 4 times. Here's a quadruple space, 1, 2, 3, 4 with 3 blank. A double space has 1 blank. And a quadruple space has 3 blank. So that's for your PBL personal business letter. And then I will have another video for you on a business letter. If you look on page 5, it has it's another letter, but it goes through and tells you what the enters, how many enters you should have. Thank you.